We've got Gerald. So I've got his thing popping up on the screen. So now I can just click admit. That's fine.
Yeah, you can. Or we can. I think what we must do is each time the person comes in, we just need to say, right, there's Core, so you can admit him.
Admit, yes. Yeah. So we've got Gerald and we've got Core at the moment.
Okay. So the next guys that when I make you co-host, please don't just admit people.
No, obviously.
With the group, and then we can admit people. Okay.
Okay. Obviously, I'm letting Sherry in.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Sorry. Looks like my video went.
That's okay. Cool. So basically, I'm making you co-host so that you can be able to see who's coming into the waiting room, and then verify first. Don't click just because you know them. Just say, I've seen Scott Smith, like we see now. Please, let's let Scott Smith in, for instance.
Okay. Anyone else can do that? I'm watching it. Okay.
Who wants to let Scott in?
Rich, can we then force people
I'm not letting Scott in.
Sorry, Gerald, what was that?
Can we force people to put their videos on? Because then we will see who it really is.
Yes. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay. Can anybody please talk me through how do I switch my video on the phone? Wait. Zoom.
I'm here, but I'm going to switch this off just for now.
Okay. We've seen you, so that's fine. Paul, we've seen. Gerald, we've seen. Charlene, we've now seen you. I'm going to
now switch off.
Yes, I'm going to also, because I forgot to shave today, so I'm looking so scruffy. So.
You stop.
So just the 7 of us in the room at the moment.
Okay, so Scott, no, we are trying to get our own leaders on first. Once they are on, then we will work to a longer list, please. We're going to wait for the other 12 guys to be on.
Is Pete in?
No.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, let me just send him a message.
He's just asked, what time will we start?
Can I phone him quickly?
I think he's seen it.
Okay.
Who shared it on the international group?
That's what I just mentioned to Rich as well before you came on, but I think it's the old link, guys, the 96544. I don't think it's the one that we've got now.
No, nothing's been sent on the international group. I just looked.
They are sending something around and bitching about not getting in, but I think it's one of the old ones. It's a Jacqueline Lindquist, 96544. I think that is the corporate one, I think.
I'm admitting Peter now. Peter, you show your face just so we can verify that you are who you are. There we go. Thank you.
Can't believe this, bro.
No, geez.
Like a nightmare.
I've never been this cold in my life. Promise you. Hey.
Got this. I had to ask my wife for a wet rag.
Yeah, I think if I was...
I made some popcorn, guys.
What did you put wasabi salt on there, Gerald? It looks like green popcorn.
Hang on, who's Coral B? Sorry.
That's Coral. No Coral. That's, I'm sure.
Coral B, yeah. We know Coral.
Okay, can I throw admit?
Yep. Well, if you can just show your face so we can verify that you are Coral.
Charles, I've sent you the link for Johan Kruger. Please, only Johan Kruger and Leon. Johan Kruger and Leon, only. Not yet. We're waiting for the 12 core leaders to come on. Johan Kruger and Leon have information that they can share, then we can let them on, and then we'll take the leaders group one for one. It'll be a tedious process.
It will be, but at least.
But everything this week has been tedious, so I'm sort of becoming accustomed to it.
Has anyone tried to call Andrew? I see he's only been on about 4 hours ago. Can we maybe, does anyone have his number that they can just give him a call?
I'll contact him. He might be on the game drive, but we'll see. I'll send him a message and ask him.
Yeah, I know, because he let us know this morning that he's going on holiday, so he might not be available.
He did say he would possibly be on a game drive.
Joel, it seems that this is being shared on the 90-day group.
Yeah, that's not my group. I don't manage that one.
Okay, don't worry, I'll find it quick.
Individual.
Okay, let me quickly see. I'm not even on that group.
It's the big group, that's an international group. I'm just keeping an eye there that the link doesn't freaking leak.
Atta Simon says that one of his members just stabbed one of his downline with a knife.
That sounds like Nigeria for you. Yeah.
Scott, can you connect with Atta Simon and just see what's going on there, please?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to be hearing a lot about this stuff that's going to happen here. So yeah, let me try.
All right, I got to be a little vocal here because this is killing me. You know, we need to relay something. You know, there's members. You know, I haven't had slept. I haven't slept in like 72 hours. I've been on calls with members that are suicidal, that have lost everything. You know, and then we're sitting here, we're laughing, we're making comments about Nigeria and people getting stabbed. You know, we have people's lives at stake here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have people's lives at stake here. And if we can't see that, if we can't agree to the biggest aspect of everything is the lives of our members, then I can't be a part of this. I've already made the decision. My family can't move forward with this, but it is my goal and my duty to be here for everyone. These people believed in us. They followed me. Do you know what I'm saying? For the last few weeks, I've been paying out of my pocket, out of my family's home. These people that don't have money to pay their mortgage. Well, it's gone. I don't have the ability to do that anymore. I'm not gonna lie anymore. I'm not gonna continue to do this. And if we can't come together, if you guys can't come together to relay this, then I'm sorry. I'm done. I am done. I have to repair my family. I have to repair my marriage. And on top of that, I will not abandon our members. I will not abandon our members for anything for the life of me. And if we can't realize that is the foundation of all of this, not any of the other nonsense, not our perspective, not whether we believe we're right or we're wrong. People are suffering right now. And I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with all of us. I'm disgusted with how we're handling this.
Yep.
And it's not right. It's not right. Period. So fix this. Please fix this. Relay something. Let the repairing start. But to try to drag people on with hope, there is no hope. Charlie said on the call on yesterday that MTI was dead several times. MTI is done. MTI is done. And then we asked to have the meeting an hour after we had that meeting so that we can relay it to our teams. All of us voted to do it. Charlie overruled our vote. You know what I'm saying? So we can't progress. So he does that. And what happens to me? What happens to us? We get attacked.
Let's just take a second here. Okay.
I mean, but Sher, what you need to understand is I've taken more than just a second. I've been in this 100%. And I'm for the people. And when things don't add up, and I'm over here trying to defend this vision that now I don't believe anything anymore. And I'm tired of being involved in this. I'm tired of going through this and dragging our members through the mud. I'm not going to do it. Okay?
So let me then respond to you. The intention is not to drag anybody through the mud. It's not my intention, and I know your heart. I know your heart. I've been the one person that has spoken to you, and I understand you, and so does Scott. I think a lot of the people on this call might not completely understand you, and I know that you carry every single member that you have ever put into this business. I know that. And I share your sentiments. The situation has been of such a nature that we haven't been able to communicate anything if we weren't 100% sure of it. And what I'm trying to do is to get the right message out. I can't go out there and
let me
say
ask
to
you
people,
a message, though, because that's hard for me to
John,
stomach.
but I haven't known what to say to people. What do I go and say to people? That Johannes scammed him, and I think all of us, and I think he's run away with our Bitcoin. I don't know that.
You know
so
what?
I can't say that to people. I can't say to Johan that I think Narina knows everything, because I don't know that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make the mistake again by putting information out there that I'm not sure of. And I haven't been sure until 4:00 this afternoon.
Yeah.
At which time I messaged all of you and I said, okay, right, I'm now sure. Because the whole day, this is all I've done. You can look at my house. It is absolutely black. There's no children here. I've had to get rid of my kids because there's an arrest. Yesterday, my private security walked into my house and told me that there's a warrant of arrest for me and Clinton.
Not everybody has a private security.
Let
me say one more thing.
How the hell are we going to do anything? Just give me a second. How are we going to do anything if Clinton and I are locked up?
Yeah, I agree.
So I had to
let me say one
give
thing.
this time and attention today.
I agree.
Now I've given it the time and attention. I've figured out what has happened. And so with Charles. Charles doesn't want to see me with death threats, or any of you actually either. The reason why we haven't said anything is because we haven't been sure. If we're not sure, we can't say anything. I can't go out and say, don't worry, guys, everything's okay, because I don't know if it is. I can't go out there and say, guys, Johan ran away with all our money, because I don't know that.
Well, let me add one more thing, because, you know, it boils down to the meeting yesterday. Yesterday's meeting, again, Charlie mentioned several times that MTI was done, which I understand that. Also, what was disclosed was there was no million or multi-million-dollar server, which is what you guys found out later on, that there's been no server upgrade. You said that. And then I see what was posted in the Telegram group. I believe that that's false hope. Since that went out in the Telegram group, now everybody, there's quite a division, but you have a lot of members in our community as a result of that message that believe that there is still hope. Had they been in the meeting.
That's why we haven't put any communications out. That's why I've said right from the beginning, we need to decide as a group if we put something out, because the effects are going to polarize people. You're going to have people that stands to the side and says, no, this is a scam, and they run off, and that's when the death threats start. And then you're going to have the other half that's the eternal optimists. I still get people sending me prayers for Johan.
I know, Sherry. I'm just saying
the point is, every single time we find out one little tidbit of information, we can't just immediately flood that into the market. Because as soon as we do that, it just creates such a frenzy.
Yeah,
we have to be sure.
Guys, yeah, but not when everything is on. Not when everything.
Joe, you've had a very, very, very tough time. I understand that.
Thank you.
let's get the information now, because I totally get what Sherry says.
Yes.
She could not give out any information because she did not have information. It sounds as if she now has solid information. Sherry, is that right? So
Yes.
my heart goes out for you, Joel, really. And I know I've slept, but I haven't slept at times, and I know what people feel like.
Thank you.
Sherry, can I get Johan Kruger on the line?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's not going to help for us to talk here and there.
I just think
Let's
I
get
understand where Joel's coming from. That's
Yeah,
all I'm saying.
Totally, yes.
And I'm not in a space where I'm going to say to him, listen, this is not okay, this is not right, and, you should just deal with this. That was never my intention. My intention is to deal with this the right way. And until I was 100% sure, I couldn't make comments like that. I just can't do that. I needed to get to the whole story, and I believe I have the whole story now. So then to communicate that to people is important, because what happens here is that now I know that there's only one or two outcomes, and there are still one or two things that I'm not sure of. But I can tell you that I received no email from the broker today. 0, not one. And I have also gotten irrefutable proof that Johan actually started Trade 300. He created the emails for Trade 300, which means the emails that I've received from the broker, from Camilla, is Johan. And dealing with that has also been an issue, because at the end of the day, this man was in my house for a week. He's been in touch and in contact with every single person. Every single one of us has connected with Johan in some way or form. So what I'm at now is to make sure that, number one, we are protected. Number two, that our members get given the right information, because it needs to be done in a proper way. But I can't make that decision alone. We need to make it together as a leadership. I can't go and say, okay, let me go put on a message on the Telegram group, MTI is dead. And then what? What kind of position do I put all of you in? So as much as the members are your responsibility, your members are your responsibility, your team is your responsibility, in the same breath, I feel like we are each other's responsibility as a leadership. I mean, some of you were building this organization before I was even building it. And I would hate for you to throw me under the bus. So that's all I'm saying here, is that this needs to be, I need to give you all the information. I need sound counsel. I can't make this decision on my own. And that's all that there is to this. I don't want to drag anything out for any members. My phone's been going off the hook. I know how you feel, Joel. And like I said, in my household, it's 2 parents that get sent to jail. 2 parents. I have 2 children. Charles has got 2 nieces. That's why he is reacting the way he's reacting. He feels betrayed by Johan. He feels betrayed by what he had bought into. We sat around a table and watched Johan cry as we all bought into his vision. Now to find out that that man has lied to us. Obviously, he's going to want to protect his family. Obviously, he's going to want to protect us. And then people on the leaders group going, oh, Clinton is a 50% shareholder. He must show his face. A 50% shareholder means that he paid 50% for MTI to get started. We all know that Clinton had nothing to do with running MTI. We all know that Clinton can't even do a bloody EFT. How would we expect him to take over the technical abilities? And how do you expect me to say, okay, my husband must take responsibility for this, when we all know that Johan is the CEO, Johan was the person who ran everything. And it's not that I want to wash my hands. I'm here. I'm sitting here. I'm not in a country somewhere, nor is Clinton, nor is Charles, nor is Monica, nor is anybody from the board. But I'm also not going to send my husband like a lamb to the slaughter, and my brother's not going to do that with me.
So we're going to invite some other people. I just want to get this meeting done and over with, man. Fucking 2 more days until Christmas.
Sherry, I'm trying to get hold of Johan. He's not picking up his 2 phones, so I'll try and see if I can get him.
Johan Kruger, please.
Yeah, we got to add some other leaders to this call. But I can tell you, I'm not going to relay this message. This is going to come.
Ek het vir julle 'n nuwe link gestuur. Klik gou vinnig op. Dankie.
Clinton, please don't send that link to Russell yet.
Okay.
All right. How do we do this? Do we all speak to one leader at a time? I don't know. Rich, what do you think? Gerald?
Yeah, Sherry, you know what? Something that I've learned in my life, if there's proof, okay, we need to present the proof. We cannot withhold the proof. I'm going to admit, Johan. So, again, for me, I say he needs to be found, and he needs to come and say what he needs to say. So, for me, one of the priorities is to get hold of Johan. That's it.
VS087 Dalap one's iPhone entering. Who's that?
Nope. Don't know.
Leon. It's Leon.
Is that Leon?
Just make sure.
It is
It's
Leon.
Yes, it's Leon.
Okay.
Sherry, I'm just going to invite Sean Logan. That's it. That's all.
No, Scott, just wait, please. It's really not about pushing our own agendas to clear our conscience with our teams. All of us, like Joel had said, all of us have to take responsibility. I trusted Johan as much as every single other person on this call. All right, where do we start?
To decide the facts, what have we got? And those facts that we have, we either have a big leaders group. I don't think we should go one-on-one. Let's do it as a group. But what we need to decide as a group is what are the facts that we do have and what are we going to pass on.
All right, then let me give you that info and let's decide going on forward. Should we do that?
Thank you.
Is everyone in agreement with that? Can we do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so apart from everything else that I told you guys about the Johan getting the email on the 30th and leaving for Brazil on the night of the 2nd. See that core group is grown. Essentially what we found out yesterday and today, things have just been unraveling so quickly. We had a private investigator go to Narina's house yesterday to go and speak to her. She has not opened the missing persons case. So everybody needs to know that she has not opened the missing persons case. And that to me was a big red flag, a big red flag. I have been dealing with Ulrich. He has removed himself as the attorneys of record for MTI, but that's because of the information that he's been privy to with regards to what's happening with Johan. We have reason to believe that we have a couple of private investigators that feel very comfortable that they will find Johan this week. And I'll get to Johan Kruger just to elaborate on that a little bit later. But the real massive moment for me was two issues. The first one is I had a conversation with Leon last night. And Leon approached Johan a couple of months ago and offered him an opportunity for somebody that he's very well acquainted with to do a proper due diligence on MTI. Myself and Clinton were never told about that. And in fact, we have been pushing to get a due diligence done with MTI and an audit. And we even got Andrew Corr in to cryptographically prove the amount of Bitcoin that is in the trading account. And every single time we would get the information until a point and then nothing. And then the raid happened and all hell broke loose. And when Leon proposed to Johan that he's got somebody who can do the audit, Johan said to him, according to Leon, he said to him, Sherry and Clinton would never allow that. Now, let me just say categorically that for me was a big, it's a lie, an absolute lie, because we wanted MTI audited. My husband has over 500 Bitcoin in MTI. Every cent my family and I have is in MTI. Obviously, an audit. I'm the one on the forefront. I'm the one that they're giving a hard time to. Why would I not want a company audited? It makes no sense. And then the second thing is Ulrich Rehn Associates spoke to the investigating officer this morning. There has been a case opened up. It was opened up against MTI. And with information that they retrieved on Johan's laptops, they were able to confirm that the only trace of Trade 300 anywhere in the world comes from Johan's laptop. He created every single email account for Trade 300, and they found all of that on his laptop. Further to that, they also found that all communications between me and Clinton and Johan, it was quite evident to them that Clinton and I had nothing to do with the situation. But that was the two main things. And then obviously the server team confirming that there was no upgrade. I have a message from Johan on Clinton's phone where he says the new server is a monster. He never upgraded that server. And for us, it has taken the last couple of hours to make sure that we understood the information that we had gotten. And we are now 100% sure that Johan did lie to us. I wasn't sure of that when I met you guys the last time. I'm also 100% sure that Narina knows something. She had a conversation with Charles this morning and she said, what if she can tell Johan to pay all the Bitcoin back? Would that make everything go away? Why would someone say that if they were not in touch with him? And we've had no contact with the broker again. Zero. That's the state of affairs. That's where we're sitting. I was asked if I will do a statement for the investigating officer, and I was given an ultimatum that they do that or they won't allow us. Sorry, people are sending me 100 messages. Or they won't allow us any opportunity in the future again, to be honest with them. And I gave them all the information that I have. And that I've been doing until 6:30 today.
That's very good.
That's all I could do. And I feel like the worst part is I still feel like I am betraying Johan. I still feel like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I cannot deny that he lied to us.
And Johan Kruger, just give us some of the information, please.
Yes, please. Johan, if you don't mind.
Hi guys, yeah, what can we say? It's it's still a little bit unbelievable, but yeah, as we say, facts never lie.
You're so beautiful.
So, as I had the conversation with Charlie,
this, we are spending
basically
together.
I said there's only one way that we can get this done is to get Johan back with us. That's it. So we did contact a group of people that does extraordinary extractions, and within about 12 to 24 hours after giving them a little bit of information, they actually found John. So they know the fair location of him. They know his movement. And they are actually able to quite accurately say that they will be able to extract him, because Brazil does not have an
This sounds so
extradition
stupid. You hear
agreement with
this?
South Africa.
They said they hired an
It
investigator.
means that they either
Oh
have
my
to
God.
convince him to come
You know,
back,
they say that they seen him, they
or
know
they
where
will
he's at.
extract him,
Oh my God, I
forcefully.
gotta put this out there.
which means that
Oh my Lord.
his passport will never go through a passport control again.
This don't make sense,
And
man.
but he'll be back in South Africa. And that is, I think, for us,
I
getting
love
Johan
you,
back and getting the answers
I
from
love
Johan
you. Okay, thank you. You're the best.
will be, I think, the most important thing that we need to focus on.
Now, this information is not something that we can share with members across the world.
No.
Exactly what I was going to say. There's no
It's
way
just
that
going to
what...
create
No.
absolute chaos.
You
And
see
while
the-
we're dealing with the legal matter here in South Africa to try and make sure that Clinton and I don't get arrested, we have lots of people, and Johan Kruger has known Johan from Steinberg for many, many years. I have had conversations with Johan Kruger where he's told me he'll take a bullet for Johan. So I want you to understand how difficult this is for him to say. These are one of Johan's closest friends. This is not just a situation where we do a public statement.
Yeah. Sherry, also, what everybody on this group must realize at this stage is extracting Johan in a forceful manner. If he decides to come peacefully, get on a plane, go through passport control, Johan will be arrested in Joburg the moment he lands. If he doesn't come peacefully, it becomes a new ball game, because then we basically all take part in illegal activities to get him in the country. But I personally feel that whatever means that we must take to get Johan back in South Africa, this is what I've told everybody that I've spoken to, that's been on our core groups, Marinus, Peter, Pete, Leon, is I think we need to give Johan, our friend, the chance to make his statement in front of us. That's the honorable thing to do. If what he has done is incorrect, then he must face the music. But if there's a bigger game at play somewhere, then he's the only person that can reveal that. So bringing him back alive is the absolute main focus.
100%.
Scott and Joel, I understand that you guys want us to give full disclosure. I just want to point out that out of the 280,000 odd members, over 200 of them, over 220,000 actually, are in South Africa. We have people that have signed up for MTI that live in our roads. And I have to say honestly that saving face is not important. I understand that the importance is that we don't want to give people false hope, and I don't want to do that. That's the reason for its call. I personally feel there is no hope, because even if Johan comes back and he pays back everyone's Bitcoin, there's still no hope. There's still no MTI. There is no way that I will carry on building anything ever again. I mean, I'm done.
Yeah, can I just add something there, Sherry? I think if we can get the Bitcoin to pay people back, that would be such a relief for everybody. Forget about bullying, forget about the binary, forget about everything else. Paying back, even if people only get part of, half of, I think that is critical. That's what I'm going to ask. My question would be is, I don't know if Johan has any information on that, but is it possible to get access to some of the Bitcoin? Is the Bitcoin there? That would be my question. Sorry, just to interrupt there.
The only person that can answer that question is Johan. And that's what Charles has been saying.
Sherry, just a question from my side. Marina, say hello, everybody. I'm not sure if you say you've handed it over to the authorities, who takes charge of the situation now? Because it feels to me, I might be wrong, that it's totally out of our hands now. So who's appointed, who's tasked to take this process further? You know, that we as a leadership group don't lose control of the whole situation, you know, in a certain sense. I believe there's other role players, but yeah, that's my question basically.
I don't think that we have a choice. I think we need to put out a statement to where I agree with Joel, is that the picture needs to be painted clearly to all members. And it needs to be done immediately. We can't wait much longer. And then I think we need to, my personal feeling is that we need to let the authorities handle it. That's my personal feeling. But I don't know.
Cherie, I just want to say that I agree with you on the approach of getting that statement out. In fact, I spoke to Charles about an hour and a half ago, and I said to him, it's crucial for you guys to come out with a formal set report to get the people to understand where we are and where we're heading to. The fact that there's no statement is almost just as alarming as the fact that, you know, things went wrong at MTI. So get the
Sorry,
statement
Leon, we
out.
actually discussed that before you came on. And
Sorry, ma'am.
the reason why there hasn't been a statement is because we haven't been sure.
Sure.
I spoke to you last night. We got the information today. Today at 4:00, I was clear on what the situation was. And that's when I called a leaders meeting immediately.
Yeah. Just on the point of, so I just want to say I support this statement 100%. Second point is on the working together with the authorities. I mentioned it last night on our Zoom. It's very important that we all need to understand that there's been a serious investigation going on. And we have to take note of that. That brings all of us into a certain arena of legislation, law, criminal acts, etc., etc., etc. So if we intervene into that playing field and we start to do things on our own, it could be disastrous for us being involved in that. So we must be very clear on where our boundaries are. And I support the fact that the authorities are now involved, 100%. I prefer it that.
The question then is, as what do we do? Do we put a statement on the Telegram group? I am not comfortable doing a statement on behalf of MTI. I'm not comfortable with that at all. I'm happy to deal with my team, and I'm happy to deal with one-on-one people. I'm happy to do that. But just as I wouldn't expect anyone else on this group to do a personal statement one-on-one.
Yeah, I want to give you the following answer to that, Sherry, and I discussed it with Charles earlier. I think the time is over that 2 or 3 individuals are going to take the heat from this fire. It cannot work that way. Okay, there's a lot of generals, and most of them are on this call now, in this MTI. I'm a small fry in this permutation, but I'm happy to take part in this. But there's a lot of guys who has 10, 15,000 people under them. And that statement must come from this group. Whoever is on this group, we must make sure that all the big guys are on the group, and the statement will come from them. Not from Cherie, not from Charles, not from some, ex-leadership group. It must be this newly formed leadership group that must bring out this statement. That's it. That's my honest feeling on it.
Good advice, Leon. Very good advice.
Joel, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm in disagreement. You know, I have to do what is right, what I prayed on, what me and my family have discussed. I understand, as you mentioned, there's a lot of South Africans and that are affected by this, and that's where my time has been, all of which that aren't in my organization. And these are people that are suicidal, that, my wife and I have been communicating with on the hour, every hour. So when I sit and I hear all this, I struggle with that decision. So I've made up my mind. I need to disclose everything. I need to disclose the truth. I'm going to move forward with disclosing the truth on whatever my understanding of that is. And then the mending process is going to begin. My family is never going to be the same. All my family members had Bitcoin in here, and this morning, I mean, it's an emotional ride for everybody. And right now,
but Joel, we don't want you to put yourself in that position alone. Do you hear this is what Leon's saying?
I understand what he's saying, but
I'm not saying that we sugarcoat anything, and I'm not saying that we lie about anything. I'm not saying that we hide anything. It's just that message cannot come from you alone.
I know
you put yourself and your family in danger.
Let me speak with all due respect. With all due respect, and then I'm gonna close out here. I've been on the front line from day one. I love everybody, man. I love you all, and this for me, what I'm gonna take away from it is what I don't understand now, and that's the work that God is doing in the midst of this. The community that we had, the genuine love that was shared, is real, and that's real to me. And yeah, the Bitcoin is maybe gone, and yeah, it's hell right now, and I can't see the light. I don't know that. But my faith right now is no longer in man. My faith now rests in God. And right now, after fasting, after praying, after communicating with my loved ones, I will move forward with this. I wish you all the best. I ask you all to do what you believe to be the best, to follow your heart, be strong during this. It hasn't been easy. Don't abandon our members. I know it's not easy to deal with the threats. I'm getting everything full force. And what breaks my heart is to know that they don't have any type of dialogue with anybody. So for me, over the next few weeks, me and my family are going to be in our community doing what we have to do to provide whatever hope that we need to. So people don't kill themselves. So people aren't stabbing people like I heard earlier today. And I encourage you guys to do the right thing, do what is right, however you guys want to do it. But I respectfully disagree with how we all want to pursue, or how you guys want to pursue moving forward and relaying the information. And it breaks my heart too, because I love you all. And I've been working with you guys, every day, all day from the beginning. And to me, it's like I lost the love of my life. And everybody is experiencing this. And I can't fathom how we're so concerned about how we may take on fire. We will. That's coming.
It's not about that, Joel. It's about giving the members the right information.
Sherry, I'm going to do the best.
It's not about lying to anyone. It is not about softening the blow. There's no such thing.
I already mentioned this earlier,
Sherry. Not going out there and putting yourself in a position that is not safe, Joel.
There. I'm already there, Sherry. I'm already there is what I'm trying to tell you. But I'm not going to cower. I went out there and I did this. I know that this is bullshit, and I will not stand for it any longer. Whatever comes my way as a result of my part in all this, God's got my back, but I'm going to do the right thing. And I said it early on. We had the call earlier today. Our COO, Charlie, said MTI was done. several times. You mentioned a server upgrade that never happened. You mentioned many things on the call that wasn't relayed in the Telegram group. They gave members hope. And we're over here.
Sure, Joel.
Okay. I love you all. I'm not going to continue this any longer. Folks, God bless you. I encourage you to do the right thing and keep the faith alive. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but I know that God got me to where I'm at today, and I know he's going to get me through tomorrow. I'm done. I wish you all the best. I love you all.
Hey, brother, we're also Christians here. We're born again, and I want to just ask something from you. Just one little quickly before you go. Will you just maybe let Johan Kruger share for a second? Because I think the critical part for everybody here, including Johan Steinberg, is to have the opportunity to get him back to
Peter that's talking. So Peter, respect, with all due respect, that's not enough.
Okay, so if you're going to go and do what you're going to do now, so within 3 hours, there are going to be many people that are going to be talking. And it's going
to be a lot sooner than that, and it's going on now. I'm being honest with you guys.
Okay, but what you're doing then, you're basically putting everybody at risk by doing what you're doing. So
guys, we are already at risk. We are already at risk. We've been promoting this business, and now you're trying to get me to. Now you're trying to get me to agree to something that I am not in agreement with.
Joel,
everyone,
just hold on. Joel,
Charlie,
you need to understand. I've listened to everything that you've had to say. If you go and do it like this, they've got my sister's physical address. Do they have your physical address?
Yes.
So what you're about to do is put yourself in danger.
Charlie, what I'm saying is I've already received threats.
Joel, you've spoken and I've listened. I didn't interrupt you. Don't interrupt me. You're being very reckless. Do what you feel is right. But what you're doing right now, and I'm telling you, putting people's lives at risk. Gather your thoughts, but you know what you're about to do is reckless. And if you can leave this call and go do that, and have the peace of mind that you risk other people's safety, because you just can't have the emotional intelligence to understand there's a way of dealing with things, and this is not the right way. That's all I'm saying to you.
And Joel, just another thing from my side, and just hear me out respectfully. There's a Bible verse that says there's wisdom in the counsel of many. And this is a core group, and we are a team, and in a team, people will differ from one another. But we are trying to seek sound counsel from each other. And we've heard your viewpoint, but we have to come to a collective decision that is best for the process going forward, taking into consideration all the facts, which your opinion is one from. So I'll just ask, just sit in the call and listen to the whole thing, and then afterwards maybe make up your mind. And I mean, I'm not banging you, but you are an emotional person, and we love that passion, but that emotion could be a little bit dangerous. That's why I'm asking. I'm also an emotional person. Just listen while we conclude this conversation. And maybe
Marinus, can I add to what you've just said? You see, unfortunately, in any situation, there's always a number of interpretations of what happened. If I give each of you a blank piece of paper now and I ask you to write down what happened here, I guarantee you we will get different opinions. So what is crucial here for us to interpret correctly where we are now and where we're going. And one guy, we won't allow one guy to do that on his own. It's just not a fair transaction to do it that way. So what we should do, and I think we're heading towards that, so we're supporting Joel 100%, that we must get the truth out there. But we must do it in the midst of the council of the wise men and women around this table now. So we will circulate to everyone what will be said in this feedback, and then everyone will sign off on it. And I think that's the principle. Then we all agree to what we're going to say, how we're going to say it, and we make sure that we are in full agreement and can back what we've said.
Can I just add? I just want to just reiterate that I'm just a member, an investor that believed in the vision of MTI 100% like Joel. I personally think, I don't know how I'm going to be able to relate this information, because then again, this is going to come after me. Lawsuits will fucking come after me, and I am a member of MTI. Okay, I truly believe this needs to come from management alone. That's
But
it.
there is no management.
Then
there's no management.
I just want to know who. Yeah, but who
literally, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to put Monica out there?
Here. Let me say one. Let me say one
out
more.
there. We can't do that. Just like I wouldn't expect Joel to do this, or you, or me, or anybody, or Richard. I'm with Joel on this, is that this needs to go out, and it needs to go out. The absolute truth, the raw truth needs to go out. But it can't be done by one individual person.
Right. I agree to that. I agree to that. And I appreciate you guys listening to me and being patient with me with what I'm going through. Like I said, I love you all, man. And I don't want nobody to be hurt. I want us all to get through this as best as possible. I'm not going to say anything. I won't post anything and until we all are in agreement with whatever is going to be shared, as long as it's the truth, as long as it's a full disclosure. Yeah. You know, I'm willing to move forward with us. I've been here from the beginning. You know, we're all affected by this, but it's just I struggle with how I just struggle with the timing and the fact that the threats are coming in, and I know we're all experiencing the same thing, and I want the truth to be out there, and for us to deal with it. You know. Let's get the truth out there, and then let's do what we have to do to clean this up as best as possible. I'm not going to leave, even though MTI is done. There's a community there of people that I'm telling you, they are affected, and that's where my focus is. Not business building, not Bitcoin, not anything. And I think if we can all agree to that, you know, then I'm most definitely on 100%. I'll remain patient and trusting that this group, you know, that we have, which I believe to be the last hope pertaining to any type of communication with MTI, pertaining to MTI, and then we get the truth out there, and then we start to mend these wounds.
I have a starting point for us.
Right.
Today, I spent most of our day to put together the statement, and the statement includes, I'm just going to share it with you guys. You can see it hasn't even been spell checked or anything like that. Sorry, that was the first Zoom call that didn't work. And in this statement, it's got everything of where we're at, about how MTI started. So I had to talk about how we got involved and everything. It's an 8-page document. And I'm thinking that what we do is we use this as the basis for the communication. From where, this is obviously just where we had to send proof of the Bitcoin that Clinton gave Johan. But this includes everything, like from the emails that he saw, the email that's attached. We can include it on here as one working document. It's got all the information with regards to Narina. It's got the information with regards to the broker. I can attach all the emails sent to the broker. I can attach every single piece of information that we have and give this out as a document with the actual, this is the actual facts. This is what I gave to the investigating officer. And Ulrich Rune Associates are busy reworking this statement now into a living document that would literally be well set out. But because I think mine included a lot of, but you can see here, it's like at 8:04 p.m. on Monday, Johan confirmed that he concluded 2,094 withdrawals. By 12:27 a.m. on Tuesday, he confirmed that he had done 5,200 withdrawals. And what we can do is use this document and then put in the screenshots of those conversations and make that document available to everybody. As a starting point, that might be a good place to start at. I don't know where you guys are on this. And Joel, I just want you to know that I wholeheartedly agree. The truth needs to come out. It's just I didn't know what the truth was until 4 o'clock today. And the emotions that you're going through now, I get that. I get it. I know you. Apart from everyone else on this group besides Scott, I know you very well. You have walked me through so much in this business. I mean, you're my direct. And I feel your heart. And I know we have the same heart. I've got a whole bunch of difficult conversations coming up, but you know what? I made the mistake of trusting Johan. My responsibility in this is, I see that. I just don't want my responsibility with a bad decision that I've made to affect any one of you, number one, and my family and my children. That's all I'm trying to avoid.
You know,
I don't want to avoid.
Joel, and Sherry, can we just ask Johan to share the rest of the information, please?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Johan.
Thank you.
Okay, Gerald, just to clarify, what rest of the information?
Can we get hold of Johan? What is the implication if we send this information out to get hold of him? How quickly can we do that? Because obviously we need to get him into South Africa by force or by whatever. Yeah. And then also take that from there, because I believe if we share this information the way we want to share it, that if he is the guilty party, he will definitely run.
Come in, my love.
And then we need to track him down in different ways.
That was the only thing that I felt shouldn't be put out there, because it will compromise that. The rest, I totally want complete truth. I just don't want to send out on a group that we know where he is and that we're going to bring him back to South Africa. That will compromise everything. I just want to be clear on that.
It's you're 100% correct, Gerald. Joel, just to give you an idea, we're using people that can extract people from any type of situation, country, doesn't matter where they are. If they're in the middle of Beirut, they can extract people. So this is a matter of getting Johan back to face the music, and hear his side of the story. Basically, that's the main focus of it. So the quicker we move and the less anybody knows, the better the result. If Johan does not know these people are coming for him, he will go on with his normal day-to-day movement, with his day-to-day life, and he'll just wake up one morning ready to go to go somewhere, and that's it. But if there's one word that leaks from this group to state that somebody's coming to look for him, he can disappear. There are ways and there's places that he can disappear to that he won't be found. And that's not what we want. So the information about MTI, Sherry, I can see you totally dropped your heart into that document. So I think the information that we should spread as leaders, Sherry, I'm 100% with you, should be a document, not videos. Nobody should take the face, but it should still have a little bit of the corporate touch and feel to it, so that everybody out there in the world can still see that the corporate team is still there. this past couple of weeks with the silence of corporate, it's made everybody nervous and it paints the wrong picture. So, Charlie, you've always stood there in the middle as a rock, and protecting your family is your main focus, which is absolutely 100% what I would have done as well. But we really, really need the corporate central to initiate the first message to go out so that we can spread the word.
So Johan, just Johan, quickly, there's two elements to this. The first element of extracting Johan is my priority at the moment, but I don't want any legal implications on that. So I'm going to be, once again, this is very confidential and it stays among us. I know of Johan, who's got 1.6 million rands worth of silver currently in South Africa. I'm going to get an arena to sign off that silver to go find Johan. So an arena is initiating the extraction and the finding of Johan.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. So there will not be any legal complications from our sides. She makes a call, she transfers the money, she will do that. I will make sure of that. So that's been addressed and we've agreed on that.
No.
So I know of the member who's got the silver, he's confirmed it. He has brokers that can release those funds based on that. We pay the team and they deploy and they go find Johan Steinberg.
Okay. There's just one thing that needs to be done before they can legally extract Johan. And that is the missing persons report. A missing persons report has to be filed.
I've pushed her. I pushed her to the point this morning where I felt like she slipped up. I can tell you right now, Narina knows very well where I stand on this whole situation. Emotion out of it. Johan Steinberg needs to come back and face the music. And she needs to make sure of that. So,
Charlie, here's the thing. If you're going to push her, I mean, let's assume that she knows where he is, okay? Or that she has contact with him. If you're going to push her to sign that thing, she might be the one that can protect herself.
She wouldn't know what the selling of the silver goes to. All that she says is that she's releasing the silver and that she's giving that person authorization to sell the silver. And it needs to be transferred to these banking details. That's all that she will get.
Then another thing I want to say is, and listen, I'm not at any sense protecting Narina, but there might be a chance that she doesn't know. And and I just want to say,
Marina, she knows. She knows.
She knows.
We way beyond that. I'm not interested in the Steinberg family at all. Even if Johan comes back and proves his innocence, the mere fact that Joel feels the way that he does is enough for me to look at Johan differently. He put us in this position. If he's innocent and he can prove everything, he's not the one dealing with what we're dealing with. So I understand 100% where Joel's coming from, and we all share that same emotion. Just on that basis, you created the situation. Even if he comes back tomorrow and says MTI can continue, I will not be associated with that man. He put people's lives at risk for his own greed, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
So on the second element, I will, from my side, put the facts together. We can all.
The statement, and we can post
I'm scared of the statement because the statement, and I don't know how everyone feels about this, and I understand Cherie's reasoning behind that. But to me, once again, that is a statement that comes from Cherie.
No, what we do is we take the facts in the statement, the timeline,
And then
and we explain
who
all
does
of
it
that.
come from?
We put it on the Telegram group.
Who does it come from?
We can put it on the Telegram group. Nobody sees who posts anything on the Telegram group, and can be from corporate. We'll say, okay, this is MTI. We don't say MTI management. We don't say MTI corporate. We say this is an MTI statement. And then we put it on the Telegram group as an MTI statement.
Yeah, remember, Sherry, I mean, this is pretty, MTI corporate is just as distraught about the happenings as the rest of the team members. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, to say it comes from corporate, to me, it's not a conflict of interest, because you are all, the corporate structure was also taken by surprise, you know.
So what we do is we can sign that as MTI corporate and MTI leaders.
That's fine.
I agree with that. I'm
happy with that too. I just don't want it to be a statement.
I'll ask. Richard has got a fantastic way of putting these things together, and I'll ask him to help me. And if he's okay with that, then him and I can sit and we'll pull it together for everybody. We'll send it to each of you individually, and you can each have a look at it.
Cherie, can I quickly pop in here for just 1 second?
Hi, Charlene.
Sorry, I'm very quiet. I'm just listening and observing. But I think the fact that's going to be major is the fact that MTI as management and as leaders has gone to the authorities. We are just as shocked. We are working with the authorities. That is the reason why there was a delay in communicating the information, but it's because the correct steps were being taken. And I stand by what I said in the chat. Use the statement to communicate the correct information so that the truth is out there, but you can also use it to lull Johan into his false sense of security. Give him the idea that we have no idea what's going on, while communicating the truth to the members. But I think it's going to count a hell of a lot that we can at this point in time say, we are working with the authorities. We are no longer kicking against the FSCA or kicking against, we are saying, oh shit, this shit hit the fan. We realize now that we have all been duped. We are all in this position. So I think that is going to count a hell of a lot to take that out to the public.
Yeah. You see, and that way we do what I agree with Joel, what is necessary is that the information has to go out. And it has to be factual. It's got to be every single bit of information. We cannot give people hope, because the only hope is finding Johan, and there's a possibility that he might have the Bitcoin. But in my mind, there's no hope. There is no hope. I can't tell you that we're going to get our Bitcoin back. I cannot say that with absolute surety, and that statement cannot create that hope either. And on that, I do agree with Joel. If Johan comes back and he pays everybody, then
Merry Christmas.
You know what? I apologize. Then I apologize. But I would rather be honest with people about where we're standing right now and apologize to him if I was wrong, than create hope and have to drag out this process, because I think that's what's killing Joel, and that's what's killing me. It's the dragging out of the situation. But just so you know, that the only reason why we have been quiet is because we haven't known. We haven't had all the facts. Now I have the facts. That was the only thing that I needed to make sure of.
Sherry, are the attorneys busy drafting that document? Then it will be circulated. We will look at it. We will give our input. And by when do you think we'd be able then to send that out?
Vanessa and another attorney are working on my statement to the authorities, but I've got the raw framework of it with me because they asked me for all the information. And today I had to work through communications from March 2019 until now. And that's what took so long, is I needed to chronologically put out everything for them to completely understand what the situation was. That's what took so long. It was just crazy. It took me forever to do that. But now we have it. So, and I do feel where I understand what Joel is saying is that I do feel the need with all of us to meet with our core leaders. There are people on this group people that should be on this group that are not yet. that I believe, need to hear it from us so we can explain it and help us to communicate this, because just posting something on a Telegram group, I also don't feel is enough. I feel those leaders also need to take responsibility, and we can only expect them to take responsibility when they have all the facts, and they don't have all the facts. So I feel that this message needs to be communicated to. There's a couple of Ignatius is one of them. Ignatius needs to be informed of what's going on. I don't know if he's got any idea what's going on. George Beetge, I can rattle them off like this. Sean Logan, Scott, they need to get that information too, and I don't feel that it's fair for them just to get a statement.
I agree. Thank you.
Don't worry, Ignatius.
You're saying that we can share this information with our trusted top leaders that have been with him.
So either what we do is we each go and have a meeting with our leaders, our individual leaders, which I'm quite happy to do. I will go meet with my group of leaders from Clinton and my team, which obviously you guys all have your leaders as well, if you're happy to do that. And then we take it from there.
Okay, then can I just ask a question with regards to the extraction side of things? Can we not get together and put some funds together so we can get the process happening immediately instead of waiting for this whole silver process? And
we can't do that because that legally implicates us. I wouldn't recommend that at all. It needs to be done on Narina. Narina's looking for a husband. That's the basis.
Okay. And if she doesn't want to sign the...
she will sign it. She will sign it. I will personally make sure that happens.
He's not going to break her kneecaps. Relax.
No, not like that at all.
That's not. Charles is not like that. But he will make sure. Narina has. She has spoken to Charles, and she's got more or less a sort of a confiding relationship with him, and he has a way of explaining things in such a way that she will understand that this is something she has to do.
But Narina,
he has to do it, and it's for her safety as well.
To give you an insight of where her mind's at in the conversation that we had this morning is that, first and foremost, I don't trust her. I don't trust her. She shares the same surname as him. She knew him for 16 years. I cannot believe that someone can do something to this extent and not know what was going on, even if she had a vague idea. So I do not trust her. I'm very selective in the information that I give her. But in the same breath, I'm also understanding that she's a mother. She's got a child. So to protect herself, there's certain measures that she needs to take. And I think she's at that point where she knows that there's no return on this. She knows that the person who she married, her husband, is not who he says he is. I believe that. But in the same breath, I do think that she's protecting him in some way. And it was all based on speculation. But this morning when I went and spoke to her and I said to her, the walls are closing in and you need to do something. You need to do it now. And her response is, but what if your aunt pays all the Bitcoin back today? Why on earth would that be an option? She has equal understanding that we have in the situation that we're in. She's not oblivious to it. So she has reason to believe that that's still an option.
Yes.
So we need to pursue that.
Just on that note, is it not an option to try and get that done? Which would obviously take a lot of threats out of the picture.
I have had discussions with her briefly today regarding that. I can tell you right now, she sent Johanna email. To which email address, I don't know. But I have confirmation on my phone that she said she sent him an email stating that exact reason. She is under the impression that if he pays the Bitcoin, which is very ignorant, that this can still be salvaged, and I will make her believe that. Okay. But even if the Bitcoin gets paid, I can assure you right now, it's not a simple process as just paying everyone out. Whoever facilitates that payout will be legally implicated in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of us need to understand that. And it's very hard. I mean, you can imagine someone like Clinton, how they feel.
Yeah.
Knowing that he just literally 3 weeks ago put in a large amount of Bitcoin. And knowing that if that Bitcoin gets paid to us, that has to be handed over to the authorities.
No,
We can't implicate ourselves. As soon as we start making payments, we are liable.
Yeah.
So
have the authorities indicated to you guys that if they do receive the Bitcoin, that they would, the members would receive it? I'm sure that would be the process.
That will be a process, and we will have to facilitate that process and helping them do that.
And I must tell you guys all that we're geared for that process.
Yeah.
So tomorrow morning, if we get told we need to pay everybody their initial deposits out, we have the server team, we paid them $45,000 to keep the system going so that we can have a proper reporting function. That's not to give people hope. That is to make sure that everybody understands that we can pull a report. We can pull a reporting function if we have to, if payments need to happen. And I say if with a big if. We can't, this that we're discussing now, we can't say that to members because there are going to be members, like Joel says, that will grab onto them and it's their last and only hope.
Yeah.
I don't think we can create that hope. That needs to be something that if we're sure of that, then we can communicate that. But we're not sure of that. So we can't communicate that.
At this stage, you're going to leave the website obviously up and running until...
It's just you obviously can't make deposits to it.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's been since Thursday last week. The minute I read that FSCA report, I wasn't 100%
Charles,
sure.
What I will also suggest is when the authorities start their process, let's say by the grace we get the Bitcoins back, and they start their process of going through the system, I think it will be sound from our side to also appoint our own independent auditors to run that system parallel with government.
Yes.
Because we also know the threat of just allowing government to run through an asset base like what we have in MTI. So I think it will just be safe to do our own due diligence as well, or our own audit.
Yeah.
So I think just to then recap and for us just to add some structure to all of this then. So are we all in agreement that there is going to be some formal statement formulated? That statement will be portrayed as coming from corporate and from the leaders within MTI. That statement will be shared among this group. If anyone is not happy with something, we all have to take that in consideration and then amend accordingly. But the only time that statement goes out is when this group gives it the thumbs up. Joel, I can understand from your point of view, the statement that was sent out on Sunday doesn't really translate to the discussion that we had on Sunday. So please, if that's how you feel, don't let that boil up inside. Say what you feel. This is an open forum. There's no one that's right or wrong. But all I'm saying is that we just exercise some emotional intelligence and just know that what we're about to put out and the way in which we portray it puts a lot of people at risk, not just my family. Mm-hmm. And Joel, I understand what you're going through. I understand. I've got messages on my phone as well. I don't want to answer these people, but I'm going to have to face the music because I know what you're going through, and you keep your faith and you believe in what you believe.
And I will.
Because I'm with you. I've lost my faith in man.
Thank you.
Because I never foresaw this. I never, ever, ever foresaw this. But what we do going forward now is going to show integrity. It's going to show respect. And it's going to show that we are leaders, because it's easy to call yourself a leader when things are going well. But when things are falling apart, that's when the true people stand up, put their hands up, stay calm, stay collective, and just know that just because one man's bad decisions doesn't give us the right to not think of the repercussions of our actions going forward. And that's what we have to be aware of.
I agree. Thank you, Charlie.
So then we'll discuss. I will keep you guys up to date. The key thing is not to legally implicate us in any form of distraction of Johan Steinberg. It needs to come from his wife. And I can assure you right now, that is my sole focus at this point, is to make sure that Narina goes and finds her husband and brings him home. For whatever her reason might be, she needs to facilitate that and she needs to make that happen. I will make sure that that happens and that we can at least have some comfort knowing that the person responsible for whatever has transpired is brought to us and he has to answer those questions. He is the only one that can answer it. But right now, the facts has led us to this point where we cannot, like Joel says, we cannot portray false hope to anyone. The facts are that MTI as an identity will not continue. And the facts are that we do not have any reason to believe that the Bitcoin is available to pay everyone out.
Charlie, just another question. I know you said you were launching some efforts to get some money to pay the MTI staff their, let's say, Christmas salaries. And I'm not sure if that's possible. So as much as we would have loved to get some money to get you a Johan here, maybe we could, I don't know, I'm not sure. I would love to, those people work very hard, and for them to go without a salary would be sad. So would that be a possibility or not?
Marinus, at this stage, once again, and I'm playing open cards with you guys, there's two people that have access to that account. It was Johan Steinberg and Narina. So how the process worked is that invoices will be sent to me. I can approve the invoices to be processed, but for them physically to get paid, only Narina and Johan can approve and get an OTP and then actually facilitate the EFT going through. So there was a transaction that we try to make to assist with the India team. So we try to buy additional Bitcoin to facilitate that payment. And NetBank flagged the altcoin transaction as fraudulent. We did try to, we could log into the account, but we couldn't do any transactions. Johan, they need an email from Johan from his Proton account, because that's a listed email, to state that we can change the password and that was actually a legitimate transaction. Over the weekend, someone went and changed all the settings on all the accounts. The only person that can be is Narina. Or Johan. We can physically not get in there. As where before, Monica could log in and she can see the balance, she can see any transactions happening. She just couldn't facilitate a transaction from her side, load it and then get the OTP sent to Narina and there for the payment. And that's what we need to understand very clearly here, that whether it's a lie or not, the accountability does not lie with the COO. It does not lie with the shareholder at this stage. Numerous times, the discussion that was held regarding us dealing with circumstances like this, we were told Narina knows how to run the system. She will be able to process withdrawals and allocate deposits. Narina knows how to do that. So once again, I'm at that stage where I want to honor that. Narina must make a statement. Narina must put herself out there. And she must say, why did her husband, if she had no idea, why did her husband make that statement and say that she will be able to maintain the day in and day out functions of MTI if he was decapacitated in any way? It's obviously one more of his lies, but that's an instruction given. Not from a shareholder, not from a COO, not from communications, nothing. We had no reason to question that.
I would like to just check on something. Do we as this group wait for a clear, for that statement or that before we talk to, because if all of us now are going to talk to our leaders, 1,000 stories will be out there. I think we must first get the statement done.
Yeah, statement first.
And what we can do is tell our leaders that there is a statement coming. Is that right?
Yes.
We have to give them something.
I would say there's a statement coming and then use that. I would say the statement's coming and then use that statement as your reference point when you address everyone, because as soon as we've seen that speculation gets created and everyone starts interpreting things a different way, then it's chaos, because then they start questioning you. Do you really know what's going on? It just becomes a mess. So that statement becomes the Holy Bible right now. That's all we refer to. That is what we know. And like Joel said, everything has to go on there. But we have to get the message through that this is not up to corporate to save the company anymore. It's not up to the leaders to save it anymore. These are the facts that we're facing, and it's with the authorities. And we have to have faith in the authorities that they will do what's right, that the people that are accountable will be brought to justice, and that if there is a glimmer of hope that things can be recuperated, that they also understand that the authorities will deal with that. There can't be hope created. You can't. We've been dealing with that for 9 weeks. Emotionally, it's taxing. But I can say to you from my side, I can't speak for anyone else, as this unraveled and as all these things became transparent, I felt relieved, because I know. I'd rather know the devil than worship a false god.
Charlie, sorry, just a quick one. With regards to working with the authorities now, have they indicated that they would not put out a press release now?
They actually, and this is the other thing, you guys, they haven't actually agreed to anything. So I'm also just doing here what I think is right. It's, yes, was I put in an ultimatum position? Absolutely. But I don't believe that Johan was honest with all of us. And the right thing is to give them the information that they need. And I hold a lot of that information. Clinton holds a lot of that information. And our responsibility is to do the right thing. And I think the worst thing is, looking back now I look at the FSCA's approach and their frustration, because they knew something wasn't wrong. They knew something was wrong. And now I ask myself, are they these terrible monsters that I made them out to be? That's another responsibility is on my shoulder. And that's a narrative that I created in our teams. And that's something I have to take responsibility for as well. So working with the authorities, I don't think I have much choice. I have to give them what they need and give them the truth. Sorry, I don't know what's happening on my phone for it to be going crazy like this. And I just think that is a basis, because that statement includes all the facts, and anybody who reads that cannot misconstrue it in any other way. I just think the only thing we'd have to change, or I don't know, that's something that we'd have to discuss, is I did put out there my personal conversations with Narina is in my statement, because I do believe that she knows where Johan is. And I don't know if we want to put her name on a statement out to all our members. I don't know if that's something we want to do. Again, I don't want to put someone else's life in danger. It doesn't matter how guilty they are of something.
Yeah, personally, I think, I would suggest that not now at least.
The problem is that if we don't tell people what her role was, I don't know.
It's important to state facts and no emotions and no, we can't, it must just be sort of unemotional facts. No accusations or implications or emotions.
The problem is when you state those facts, Coral, it's obvious.
That's why you give it to us to look at it and take out, if there's some emotion, take that out. And if it's fact and it's obvious, that is, then that's fine.
I just think there's a difference between a strong suspicion and a fact. That's why I mean.
The fact is, though, that the protocol that was in place in these circumstances was reiterated that Narina will be able to maintain all functions. That's a fact. We can't cherry pick on emotion. That is a fact. We cannot paint that any differently. That is the fact of the matter. We have physical evidence to state that that was the protocol that was put in place. You need to understand that if you do not give that to the membership, they then start looking at Clinton and Shuri and be like, but why didn't you put that protocol in place? Why wasn't this thought of? The one element that we focused on the most in MTI is that the threat is not from the outside, it's within. The biggest threat for us at any given time was if Johan was decapacitated. Incapacitated. We have had that discussion numerous times, and the membership needs to know that. We can't cherry pick and just be like, it's not based on suspicion. I'm not saying Narina's got contact with him. I'm not saying Narina knows where Johan is. I'm not saying that. I have my own personal opinion, but it's a personal opinion. It's an opinion at this stage. Unless I have physical facts about that, we cannot say that. But Johan Steinbach made it very clear that he's had several discussions with Narina, showed her how the system works, and if we get into a situation like this, that Narina will ultimately be able to fulfill that function. And that is what we have to state. Because if they look at corporate and be like, but why did we not look at this? It needs to be made clear to the membership that this was a thought process put in place. That we need to be clear.
Charlie,
if that's a fact, Charlie, then it gets put in. I'm not trying to cherry pick or at all. We just put the fact
okay, question from my side. Let's say it becomes evident that was stated, but it's evident that she's incapable of doing that. You know, so right, show us how to, I don't know how to. Let me know it was another lie. You know.
Marina's like, once again, and I understand where you're coming from in that regard, but I can only take my interactions with Johan, and when we brought up certain concerns with Johan, how those were facilitated and how those were portrayed to us. Once again, if you go and look at all the information that's come a lot, something that was very evident was that what Leon discussed with us yesterday is that we can't take anything on face value that Johan said. I agree with you. Narina might not know how to do that. But us, from a corporate point of view, needs to portray ourselves that is something that we have thought of, because the negligence from our side to not have that system in place, it makes us look incompetent. And the incompetency of the corporate is not what brought us to this point. It's because Johan Steinberg has got answers to questions that we want so that we can have clarity on this. And part of that is that why were we told that Narina will be able to deal with a broker? She knows how to deal with withdrawals, allocate deposits. He's building an automated system. Why were we told that? Not once, not twice, numerous times. And then very ironically, when we as a corporate team decide that we want someone to take over that function, Johan disappears the next day. So he either uses his wife as an scapegoat, which I don't, at this stage, I don't pass it by him, or maybe Narina does know. Maybe Narina knew all along. I can't tell you one or the other, but all I can tell you is that was put in place, and the members need to know that.
So I think what we do is we start this statement from the I think we started in a timeline. We started from the day of the FSCA search and seizure warrants being affected. Can we agree on that? So we'll take my statement and we'll take the timeline from the search and seizure warrants, and then we'll work it straight through to where we are at currently. I think that would be the best. I can sit and I'll do that now. I'll put it into a PDF. I think it needs to go onto an MTI letterhead, and we then sign it from corporate and from leaders. And I think what we also do is in that message, maybe just put it out there that there is officially no more corporate management structure and that we are now all working with authorities.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
I agree with that, Sherry.
Okay, and I think that needs to be done in like the next 2 minutes, because now we have a whole bunch of leaders that haven't been informed. So I'm going to have to do that really, really quickly because they're literally waiting for a link.
Charlie?
To a call.
Sorry, Sherry, here. Don't you think you guys should drive through to Narina in Polokwane and confront her and sit with her?
Ignatius, I didn't know you were on this call.
Yeah, hi, Sherry. Hello, all of you. Yeah, if you and Charlie can share a phone, I think me and Ignatius can share a phone too. Don't you think if we are willing to do all the trouble in getting hold of Johan, and doing all that, putting all that money down to do that, don't you think you sort of would validate yourselves by going there and pushing her into a corner? And
we had a private investigator there on Sunday. She refused to be recorded. So they also she refused a lie detector test, and the private investigator came back to us and said there is no way she is being truthful about the situation. We also know that Johan has a Club Swan account, and she refused to give the information that is necessary to find the statements only, not to close the account or anything like that, to find the statements so that we can track Johan's last whereabouts. So there's nothing. And Ignatius, I just want you to know that this woman has sat watching us all go through this turmoil. Don't ever forget that. She's watching and knowing exactly what's going on. She's got the answer in her hands. And what?
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
To just put everyone's mind at ease as well, when Johan made the decision on his own to jump borders, I deployed 2 CPOs to his house. In hindsight, it's one of the best things we could have done, because Narina is a flight risk. So those CPOs, they literally send me updates every single hour of her whereabouts. So if she tries to do anything, we'll be able to intercept her straight away. So there's no need for us to come up there. We had someone go and visit her as well, the person who's in charge of the CPOs. This guy, he specializes in interrogations and etc. And I just said to him, just give me insights into what you think of her and where's her emotional state. And he said to me, one thing that's very clear about her is that she's extremely calculated. She says everything she says is for a reason. He said to me that
everybody on this group saw it. When Arena was on this group, she had nothing to say except for she just wanted everyone to know that she knew nothing.
So just to reiterate, going there and discussing that with her, I feel that the interactions with her is very rehearsed. I'll also say that initially when we found out that Johan is missing, something that Cherie and I couldn't understand is that the message that she relayed to us was almost that Johan sent her an email to say, I'm sorry, I had to do this. When we asked her to send us the email, the physical email, there was literally nothing like that. And then when we said we need to deploy someone to go find Johan, her response was, no, Johan doesn't want to be found.
Quote unquote.
Yeah. So there's no point in going there. We're going to hit a brick wall there. I think with interactions that I've had with her, I tend to hit a nerve with her now and again. And when I do that, I get a little bit of information from her, and then it almost feels like she catches herself. Like this morning when she said to me, but what if Johan pays all the Bitcoin today? And I said to her, well, then obviously that's not the truth, but I said to her, then this goes away. So that's your sole focus. Contact Johan, get hold of Johan, and tell him to pay the Bitcoin over, and this will go away. And she said to me, she's onto it. She'll see what she can do. To me, that does not sound like a wife that's concerned for her husband. She knows very well Johan is safe, you want to call it that. Johan is not in the hands of someone that he doesn't want to be in, and that Johan has done this by choice. And that's based on the interactions we've had with her. And I would like to reiterate, anyone that holds the Steinberg surname, I don't trust. And I never will, regardless. So we'll get out of her what we need, and right now that's funds. And we need to deploy that extraction team, or not us. She needs to deploy that distraction team, and she will not be aware of what she signed off on. Only when Johan hits the borders and we have him in our hands, which I sincerely hope we do, only then might it come transparent to herself that she literally funded and signed off bringing her husband back here. It doesn't legally implicate any of us. She made that decision, but I'll indirectly get her to make that decision without knowing very well what she signed off on. So it's just the funds. I'll be honest, to deploy these guys, it's going to cost 2 million rand. That's what it's costing. I'm happy to risk Johan Silver for that. I'm happy to risk his house for that.
Charlie, can I just very quickly ask something here? How quickly can we get that thing signed? Obviously by an arena.
I want to get it signed off. I want to get it signed off by tonight. I want to get it signed off by tonight. We're working in very tight frames here. The fact, though, is these guys have been doing work, though, in the background. It's not like they're sitting and just waiting for payment. This particular individual, I haven't personally met him. Do not know their track record. I'm literally going by recommendation. But the information that he's given me has made me to believe that they will make this possible. And once again, if this leads to a dead end, there's no loss to us. It's not our money. And secondly, I would just feel comfortable that we even just have the chance of bringing this guy back. That's just a chance. That's all we need. I will just sleep better at night knowing that we have tried. And he needs to look over his shoulder, and I'm sure Johan is. But we need to move on this very quickly. So the fundamentals of it today was for Cherie just to get that statement out. I didn't want to cloud her mind with anything. Johan Kruger and I've chatted about it. Leon and I've chatted about it. I just needed to find a way where it doesn't legally implicate us. And for some reason, Johan Steinberg doesn't brag a lot, but he did brag about a lot of silver to me once. And this morning when I woke up, I remembered that. And I was like, that silver is going to be his downfall. That silver is going to bring him to justice.
And then obviously an arena needs to lay that missing persons charge as well to get all of this going.
She's not going to do it.
She told us that what I also found out, I forgot to tell you guys this. What I also found out yesterday for the first time, because I phoned her and I said to her, why are you not doing the missing persons report? I don't understand. And she said, no, she's going to do it on the 22nd because Johan had a return flight booked for the 22nd. Just like, I can't. I actually can't. So I don't think she's going to lay the missing persons report. Can we as, you know what? Can we as a corporate team not lay a missing persons report?
It's actually interesting that Tom Fraser, I actually had a phone call with him today. And he said, from a corporate point of view, we can actually physically lay criminal charges against Johan, which is something we'll have to discuss with the corporates and see how they feel. I can undoubtedly speak for Monica. She's definitely going to be for it. I definitely want to do that. So let's see. I think we as a company, maybe we can do that. I can't say.
But can we open a missing report, a missing persons report?
I'm
of
sure
course
we
we
can.
can.
I'm sure we can.
All right, then what we do is we go to the police station tomorrow and we go and do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Between Charles, myself, and Clinton, we'll jump on that.
And once we have that, we've got a contact in what's it called, Black Swan. What's the game?
Club Swan.
Club Swan. We have a contact in Club Swan. I think Johan Kruger did mention to me that we've got a contact there that will be able to give us more insight into that account and what transactions have transpired in that account. So I hope, Johan, we can still pursue that once we have the case.
Definitely we will be able to.
Okay. So, yeah. So we'll just have to keep you up to date on that. I'm literally, after this call, I'm going to make a phone call to Narina, get her to draft that email, and send that email to that particular member that's holding that silver. And he needs to understand of utmost, I don't care if he gets 20% less than the spot price on silver. We need R1 million to deploy. Once they deploy, then we can figure out the rest. In that regard, the key thing is just we need to move soon. The longer we leave this window of opportunity open, the harder it's going to be for them. But they know his whereabouts. They know where he is. They know where he's been. And my brief discussions with them, they seem very confident. His exact words were, "No one's untraceable." The days of that is gone.
Yeah, I think from our part, we need to get that statement out as quickly as possible. I think we need to work on that quickly. There are a lot of people waiting for that information. And at least now, thank you, Sherry, we've got facts that we can pass on.
All right, so all of us have a million things to do. I've got 2-3 leaders groups that I need to speak to. I don't know what to do. You think that I should have a meeting with each individual group before we do the statement so that our other leaders know what's going on, or do we just do the statement?
I think we said we're going to let the leaders know that the statement is coming.
Okay.
And that the details, we don't want to put lots of little bits of information out there. We want to stand, and the leaders will understand that it needs to be standard, total truth information.
Okay, so I'm just saying, because Zoom calls are obviously not working. It's just too much of a drama. We had on the previous call a guy come in with Peter Miller's name and start recording the meeting. You can imagine if these kind of conversations, it's horrific. All right, so
Thanks,
I think
guys,
that we all
appreciate it. I've got to also go. I've got to sit with my wife and the family. But thank you very much for what everybody's doing. Thanks, Johan, for the work that you've done, because we had some conversations on that. So thank you very much, guys.
All right, guys, let's get that statement out. I'll work on that now. Just as a matter of interest, Rich, would you be able to help with that, or are you not able to?
I think what I've just spoken to Carl, so Carl and I will help you on that one. And I know
Okay. We jump on a Zoom call, or how do you guys want to do that?
You can stay on this Zoom call, basically.
Okay, let's stay on this call, and I've got my laptop open. We can do it. I'll be the secretary.
Okay.
All right. Cool beans. Thanks, everybody. We will work to get that done in the next hour or so.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
thank you all.
Thanks,
I love you
guys.
all. God
Bye.
bless you all. Let's be strong and let's get through this. Thank you all. I appreciate you all. And I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Bye.
Brush teeth. Brush your teeth. No, brush your teeth looks good. Brush your teeth, please. You get all clean.
That's how you get a toothbrush.